Hey guys, this is LoveTalk Lagos. We're a group of friends that whenever we meet, we end up talking about love and relationships. So we're like, what the heck? Let's start a podcast.
Hello, hello. This is Love Talk Lagos. We are back again. And we are basically going to give you our 2 cents on Derrick and his wife's saga that is disrupting the whole of the internet. I'm sure you've seen it, or you've seen something, or you've seen an opinion about it somewhere on the internet. But Derrick, the relationship enthusiast, has basically come out to say that he was cheating, and him and his wife were hand locked and gave us a whole speech. So we're basically going to dissect and analyze all that has gone down, plus all the updates that they've also given us since that video. So I hope you guys enjoy. My name is Ifeoma. I'm a TV personality.
I'm Okuns and entertain.
My name is Ifeoma and I am an entrepreneur and life coach.
Not psychologist again.
No, I like life coach, yeah.
I'm Pete and I'm a media consultant. So let's dive right into this. What angle shall we even come from? Because there is a lot to. Okay, I want to start with the body language in the videos. Like all the videos I've seen. Even if in his reply to that video, he also mentioned that she looked like she was coerced to do it, even if it was her idea. From watching that video, she looked uncomfortable all through, right? But later she comes out to say she's a soldier and she's wearing a helmet and she's coming to the battlefield covered in the blood of the lamb. So it's like, okay, how come your body language is betraying the fact that you agreed to appear in such a video? What do you guys think?
When it comes to body language, it's good that you picked up that fact, but I think what is happening here, and as things have continued to happen after the first video was actually released, I feel that what is happening is Derrick is getting a lot of backlash, right? And he's trying to cajole her into being supportive of him so that at the end of the day, because everyone that looks at that video and watches it just hates Derrick, and for him, he doesn't like that persona. He wants to still be seen as, oh, okay, yes, I know I may have done terrible things, but please, you really, really have to show the world that you have forgiven me, even though her body completely says that she really hasn't. Do you understand? So that's why she's coming up with, because what has, oh, you're wearing a breastplate of righteousness. I don't even understand. What has that, or a bonnet of what? Like, excuse you, you looked forced and cajoled because first of all, he says, I want to do a video and put it on the internet, and you couldn't be bothered to actually put a wig on, or like you, the way she was dressed, she would never even go to the supermarket looking like that. So why is it that, and you know this is going to be broadcasted to all the people that follow him and know the whole case? So why would you dress like that? Why are you? For her, she just couldn't be bothered, and then when everyone picked up the fact that she couldn't be bothered, she's now wearing breastplates of righteousness, like.
I mean, that's already trickling into religion, which I feel like has a big part to play in this video, because they're using religion as a shield to avoid accountability, especially him, and she's doing that even with her appearance. I really like that you mentioned how like she couldn't even care. I don't know what's happened with her, but something seems really off to me, because if you look at her page and all of that, she's not as simple as that video. It's not like a woman who like shies away from social media and doesn't know how to put herself together. She can't. She just doesn't want to, and that's really strange. Away from that, back to the body language thing. Another thing I picked up on was his body language as well, and there was no remorse, and I didn't understand why that is. So if you've said that, okay, I did this thing before, and my wife and I have moved on from it, blah 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 blah. I mean, that's fine. But if you're going to then address the public, which nobody forced you to, like you mentioned in the video yourself, why can't you have a remorseful attitude, right? Like, this guy makes his money off the fact that He knows the black people's struggle, which is very unique. He knows that black women, especially in a place like America, are the least desired, right? And most of the time, we get the most disrespect from the black men. So he knows he's pandering to the black women, where he's telling them, oh, you need to do this and do this so that you can get these people's attention. And don't take this from this person and take that from that person. And he knows he looks like the epitome of a black girl's dream, right? He's tall, dark, and handsome. He's milked all of that and made a business out of that. But you know the influence and you know how important that is. So then for you to then become everything that you've preached against, I feel like you owe the world, even if it's pretense, just a level of I'm sorry about that behavior. Do you know what I mean? Like, just even a little bit remorse. Like, I don't say I'm really ashamed of that. But he said it as like a matter of fact, moving on, whatever. And that was weird to me. And then I don't know if you also picked up on the hand. When she started talking, he just like moved her hand into the middle of his legs just a little bit. It kind of gave me the weird vibe of like, remember what we fucking rehearsed, you know? Like, there's something really off about it. For some,
like a hostage situation.
I swear, like, I remember when I saw an Insta blog, my comment was, babe, blink twice if you need us to get you out of there. Because it's like, what is going on? It was too, he was enjoying it too much for what it is. And if it's anything you know about trust or whatever, or things like that, it's a journey, right? You can never really just be over that phase. So I don't think you should ever get tired of being remorseful about that. Like, it was a weak point. Yeah, I'm not saying that, yes, you should be so sorry and let it dangle over you, but don't be that fucking confident and like saying it like as if no, it's rice and beans. Like, he even said it, I texted, I flirted. I mean, even I went as far as sex with multiple people, but whatever, God has forgiven me. So yeah, fuck yourself.
I have a feeling that, as you rightly mentioned, she's in a hostage situation. And I'll say this, and I think she's in a hostage situation not necessarily from Derrick alone. It's a hostage situation from her church, her pastor, and maybe even her family. Because I have a feeling, because for him to be that confident, it's almost like, oh yes, we've talked about it, you've forgiven me, and almost like no remorse at all, is because he knows that she's not going anywhere. Meaning that even though she was gone, or like she said, she was still gone, unfortunately, you are no longer gone, but he's almost not showing any sign as to why you took him back in the first place. So all of this just meant that there are more people that intervened in this matter. And Derrick is like maybe one of the least people. I think for him, he may even be seeing it as maybe him trying to do you a favor almost. Because, like, why would he not be remorseful? Why? You are the one that cheated, Oga.
Fam!
And then you are the one telling us, oh, we should move on. Move on to where, please? Like, why? Why do you think it's okay to brush it that God has forgiven you? Yeah.
And then because of that, you owe no one nothing.
But again, do you know another thing I must even say? I feel like we, the followers, are the problem. The fact that he still has millions of followers still is even, like, a lot of people should just unfollow the guy. Yeah. Like, it's a fraud. It's a fraud.
Proper fraud.
And please, they put people that are fraudulent in jail. So why should we not put him in fame jail? Like, nobody should even listen to the nonsense he's saying. Maybe that will give him an awakening, because in his head he's thinking, I can get away with it, and we're letting him get away with it because he's seeing all of these even him blowing up even more and becoming even more famous. Exactly. So the honest truth is, we should stop allowing narcissists or people like that to go on. And I'll even bring it close to home, right? This type of thing has happened in Nigeria, let's be honest. There's nothing really dissimilar from this to what Toke even did. Let's say it as it is. She went about saying things that she obviously was not even doing in her own relationship. The only good thing is that for her, maybe because she was a woman, eventually she owned it, and then she made, once everything broke out, she now tried to play the victim as well, which was even another story in itself. But honestly, right, I find that this happens a lot with people that are supposed to be like, quote and unquote celebrities. Yeah. They always believe that, oh, we were not human, we make mistakes. Yes, but unfortunately, if you to whom much is given, much is expected. If people have now decided to follow you, and because of that followership, you've been able to get this, and this, there's a sense of responsibility that you do have to these followers. So you can't just think of it like, oh, whatever, like, if you guys don't I don't care, really. It's just really annoying. And please, guys, stop making stupid people famous. Stop it. Stop it.
So, I mean, he's gained like at least 200,000 followers
Imagine
since this whole thing came out. So, okay, what I will agree with is that it was a logical apology. It's like, okay, I need to save my brand, so I need to come out and issue an official apology. I need to own my mess up. This way, I still stay authentic and own these rumors. It's like what Kevin Hart did, but Kevin Hart was more sincere about his apology. Absolutely. Your PR person would advise you, okay, like it's out there already, you have to own it. But then even if you want to pretend to us, even if you haven't owned it in your real life, because generally your pastor would advise your wife that is still your husband and blah blah blah. So you know that, okay, she probably was never really going to live and you shall have her, but you have to still save your face. At least pretend to be remorseful on camera, right? Pretend. Because as you said, right now, it looks like a logical apology. It looks like this is a box for him to tick. And it's reinforced by the fact that he now reacted to that video if this is that his third person thing. Look, if I slap you and I say sorry that Peter slapped you, it's not the same thing as if I slap you and I say sorry I slapped you.
Yeah. He does that. I think I think this guy has a problem.
Deep.
We're missing it. And if you've gone into it a bit, and you've gone into it as well. But I think he has a mental problem. We're just not aware of.
Superiority complex.
He
where
does.
He feels like
And
he's like
and
nothing, like no, he can do no wrong.
Exactly.
Really.
And even when he has to like, oh shit, I've gotten to a tight corner where I have to kind of critique myself. He says third person. Think he did it in the first video. He was like, yeah, you must have heard the rumors. Derrick, what's his surname again? Jaxn. Yeah, Derrick Jaxn cheated. Why? Like, no, it's not Derrick. You say I cheated. Like, internalize that. He has a sick problem, I think. And he's also a fantastic manipulator, right? So even think about it. You've cheated. Apart from your wife, to me, his wife is the least of his problems. And I don't know, maybe it's because background. She's quite vocal about her story. They met when they were in secondary school, so they're like high school sweethearts. So maybe she has a delusion that this thing must work. I don't know. Then she's also gone through a lot of trauma. She was raped when she was younger and all of that. So I don't know how those things affect somebody's life to be able to get to that point. But her story or the way it's been portrayed, it looks, and I have to agree with you 100%, it looks like she needs this man for whatever it is, because she does not have children, so I don't know. Maybe it's lifestyle or whatever. But there's that. I don't think his wife is his problem, like you said. I think he knows that girl is going to be there. It's for his fans, right? So then he's manipulated the situation. Like, how else? Think about it. How else can I keep my reputation? I wish you followed this guy before today, which I did. And I guess that's why this thing is so cringe for me. He came after black men. Hard. Right? Really hard. Which
is even what got him all the followers that he had in the first place.
If the man does not text you every day, he's not good enough. If he doesn't, you deserve more, queen. Don't take a cheat. Don't. He did all of that. So now it's been exposed that everything that you were doing was because you were getting high off the women's attention, right? And that's all gone. I think he chose religion deliberately because that's the only thing else that can get you out of that. So then you go to religion and say, and you're in the black community, the religion is quite strong there. And then you now say...
Everybody knows he can easily fall back to all forgiveness.
Exactly. So you choose religion as a tool to say, oh, I was sinful. And therefore, God has washed me white. My problem is with that is the wife, because has she not been to church and realized that people who are saved still cheat? So I don't understand why you all of a sudden think that that's the solution to your problem. But it works in terms of narrative, right? Like, I was so sinful and now God has cleansed me. You see, even if everyone is sleeping well at night, is this guy just laughing, going, I fucked all these girls, I texted all these people, and I've gone caught and nothing has happened. I keep my wife, I get more followers, I get more attention. Like, he's the baddest manipulator. And I sell my book about this shit.
If anyone actually buys that book, the person doesn't have little or no sense, because what is he going to put in the book that, first of all, is going to be able to justify anything that he says?
He's a manipulator. He will write the book and he will buy it.
People are going to buy that book. And him and his wife be very prepared. They're coming, but I already know how the story is going to end. And I'm sorry, I don't want to be like somebody wishing for something, whatever, but I know he's going to do it again. And she will have no choice but to divorce this guy anyway. And that maybe will give them like maybe 5 years. But what they're going to do is that they're going to milk just the same way Kanye West milked Jesus is King. They're going to milk the religious community, and they're the most gullible people I've ever seen anyway. Where anybody can rule a bunch of flocks, just sprinkle a little bit of Jesus into it. They're going to now do it together. They'll now be counseling couples that have infidelity issues and all these issues, and they'll be using their story as I'll just be making a lot of money. That's what's going to happen. And then after a while, when his dick gets too hard from all the attention and he can't fake it anymore, he will get one other girl to start sleeping with, because he did it for years. Like, this divorce, this cheating thing, I've heard him address it before. And he denied it ages ago, like maybe like, before I moved back to Nigeria, so maybe like 3-4 years ago, like he had addressed her, it's a lie, he will never do that, he loves his wife. And they started making all these stories about how everybody just sees black men as cheats. See, he's proper sick, but he's good at it. He's aware and he's genius about it.
Well, okay, so look at this other situation, right, from the wife's point of view, right? You said they were high school lovers. So could it be that in the realm of relationships, he's the only one she knows in that light? So that dependency has been growing over the years, right? She may not really know how to love someone else to that point. So it's easier to forgive when this guy has been your first most things, right? And now you guys are together, and then there's the faith aspect, because let's not crucify forgiveness. Forgiveness is a good thing, right? It's great if she has actually forgiven him. My issue is there is no clear indication that she has forgiven him from her own side or in a healthy way, not out of dependency or not out of, to save his public image for herself. If she has forgiven him from deep within, that's my issue now.
Yeah, you see, unfortunately, what tends to happen, and this happens to women a lot, right? We always come up with all these excuses. I knew, because what it is that women in general, especially, they like to always see the good in everything. Like, even if it was bad, they would remember the good times. Like, oh yes, he was loving. Oh yes, he brought me flowers, maybe one time, like maybe 1980 years ago even. They would remember that and hold on to that inherently he's a good person, right? But the problem with that, and I'm saying this to all women because we do that a lot, the problem with that is that we continue to be manipulated by men who know these things. Exactly. They will continue to take advantage of it. So in her case, right, it's possible that, in all honesty, she has forgiven him. But the thing is that, and this is another thing people think, right? That, I even get into that situation whereby maybe somebody does something to me and I've forgiven the person. I've not forgotten now. There's the part of the like, have you forgotten it? She has not forgotten, and that was what was clearly shown in that video. Yeah. That even though, yes, she may have forgiven him, she has not forgotten. But he's trying to make it look as if she has forgiven him and forgotten about it. No, she hasn't. because there's no woman that is going to go through that and just forget it in days. That thing is going to take a long time for her to heal. So for me, the only thing I think is, yes, let's give her a break, because the truth of the matter is that we as women, the way we internalize things and the way we look at situations is very different. She's going to take her time to heal. The only problem I'm seeing, and this is beginning to happen with every video that comes out, especially on her side, is that they are cajoling her to keep releasing these things to make it look like, oh yes, she has forgiven and she has forgotten. No, she hasn't.
And when you see somebody who's been through a lot use only religion as a reason for healing, I personally get worried. Like, that helps, absolutely, but it still has to come from you. Because then if you remove the religion, what's going to happen? Like, and yes, forgiveness is a good thing. Nobody's saying that you shouldn't forgive. My issue here is the accepting back. I can forgive you, and you can go do your bullshit somewhere else. Like, I don't need to take you back. Now, you said women are whatevers, but why is that? Because we're not actually like that biologically or fundamentally. We don't give any slack for female friendship. We don't give any slack at the office. If anything, women are quite hot-headed. We don't take rubbish. We don't do any of that until it comes to men. And the reason is because we have been told the bastardic lie that we need these men. Or when we're married, we need to stay in that marriage. Somebody said, oh, this girl is so strong. She's not strong. If anything, she's doing the easiest thing. The safest thing of living in this world as a divorcee, the stigma that comes with that, is terrible. She avoided that. Being complete with the man, feeling complete with the man is easy to do because everybody expects that. You cannot deny that there is a strong, strong negative attention that comes when your relationship doesn't work. Not for the man, for the woman. And she could be one of those people who had made too much noise about how her relationship is so successful. I know couples like that. There's a girl that I know that always emphasizes on the formula. Why, if anybody's relationship doesn't work, she knows the reason why. It's because the woman didn't do this. It's because the man didn't do this. And da-da-da-da-da. And then later on, we found out that her relationship is actually shambles. They don't sleep on the same bed. They're not even married. They don't sleep on the same bed. But in Australia, you don't have to be married to be, like, living together. Yeah, so they're, like, proper partners, right? And they basically don't really love each other and everything is for a show. And then we asked her one time, then why don't you just get out? After listening, you can see that she's holding on to the fact that I've already said that my relationship is good, so we die there. Have you ever seen people who know they've made a mistake, but then pride won't allow them to accept that? So they'll keep on going for the face. That could be a problem as well. Maybe that's what she's dealing with. But there's nothing strong about what she's doing. I think, I don't know where her friends and her family members are, but that girl needs a lot of help. And not because she's done anything wrong, but it's the person that she's dealing with. Let's say he was a normal guy that didn't look as manipulative and toxic as he did, and he was genuinely sorry. I think no one would be so hard on her accepting him back or forgiving him. It's the fact that you are accepting somebody who clearly looks like he's not going to change anytime soon, and all of it is an act. So it's like, why are your friends and family, and how are they not seeing what we're seeing?
So you're judging a book by its cover?
It's more than a cover. He entered the penis, didn't he? I mean, he put his penis in people's vaginas. That's more than a book.
And he was now talking about himself in third person. Like,
yes,
who does that?
More than a book.
Who does that actually? It just shows like he's actually a narcissist. As in, just say it as it is. The guy is a narcissist. He feels like, oh, he's above reproach. There's no one better than he is. He can do no wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
and
come
even
on.
when he knew that, they're going to come for him for his actions, he quickly told us, well, God has forgiven me. Because then if God has forgiven me, the ultimate person, there's nobody bigger. If God has forgiven me, then fuck you people. I don't want to hear it. That's what people do when they don't want to hold themselves accountable. I've seen people who have been saved, as in proper transformation. And when they talk about their sins, they're all like, they still cry. Like, it's like remorse, like proper remorse. Like, I wish I didn't do that. See, it's not judging book by its
video.
cover.
Maybe the guy cried without doing it on video, and he chose not to do it on video. Do you understand? I would not want to cry in front of
about
video.
tears, but you can be remorse. And if you don't want to be remorse, there's no need to make an apology video. An apology has remorse inside it.
Some people don't know how to show remorse, especially, I don't think I know how to show remorse. Do you understand? I've done shit before in my life. Now, you don't, but then you can apologize. You don't need to show the remorse.
If you don't apologize to me with remorse, you have not apologized, as far as I'm concerned.
That's the thing.
Then
What you perceive as remorse. What you perceive as remorse is different to different people.
Here we go. Please, remorse is remorse. Anger is anger. Love is love. We're not blind. We're human beings. You don't function differently. I hate when people do that stuff. They'll say, I used to have this like friend that had anger issues, and when he starts getting angry, he'll say, "Oh, I'm not angry. My voice is just loud." Nah, nigga. We're human beings. We can tell exactly. I'm pretty passionate about what I'm talking about now. I'm not gonna now tell you that, oh, I'm chill actually, guys. This is how I talk. No, my blood is hot. Yes, admit it. An apology is an apology. And if you're gonna put your ego first, then you haven't really apologized.
Well, I mean, like, you saying what she's doing now is the easiest thing she could do. I don't necessarily agree with that, to be honest, right? She could be trapped by dependency, right? However, staying in that situation is not easy. I think it would be easier for her to be in maybe her sister's house right now, or in her friend's house at the moment, and not having to appear on a video.
This is 9 months after she left his house. She said she was done and all of that. She's come back. That's giving into the wave of the pressure. Because when you leave, any woman knows when they leave their husband's house, nobody says, well done, keep it at that, except maybe like the guy wanted to kill her or something. Most people will drive you back to even with the abuse, physical abuse, most people still drive their wives back to their husband's house. Go home, go to your husband, it's forever and ever. You're going with the wave. That seems a lot more easier than saying, till tomorrow. My mom is a single parent. Till tomorrow, people still ask my mom about the divorce. Like, are you sure you shouldn't have? You should have. Nobody encourages women to leave their wives their husbands long term. Nobody does that.
Okay, I agree with that, but I wouldn't say it's easy. Do you get what I mean?
But in the options that she's got between leaving, for me personally, if I'm in a toxic relationship and the best thing for me to do is leave, where it's harder, and then I choose the dependent thing, the one that's easier, because that girl is obviously what's the word? She has things that she's gaining from being with that man. If it's like a societal appraisal, if it's that maybe lifestyle, because I've heard that take as well. People say she doesn't actually do anything and that he has all the money. If it's lifestyle, I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's all speculations now because I don't know them personally. But if she's depending on him for certain things, and she's also getting the societal appraisal of like stick with your wife from church, which I'm pretty sure she's getting. That sounds like the easier option in compared to the other one where your church is not going to support you if you decide to stick with a divorce. And I don't know if you know anything about church. You don't want them to not support you.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, it depends on the church.
Pressure is deep.
Okay, I mean, yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. But right now, I just view her as a victim of everything. Right? She's one that's has lost and will continue to lose if he stays the way he is. Right? There's no remorse. He hasn't fully understood. I don't know if he hasn't understood the damage he has caused her emotionally or if he doesn't care. However, there are, in discussions between couples, people tell you that, okay, the man can appear with so much bravado, but if you know the insides of their marriage, you would find out that, he would actually crumble without her. He would actually not function without her. That all that is just what he shows, in public. However, that is still its own form of abuse and manipulation, right?
Funny, there's something that actually struck me. Why now? How come it is now he wants to release a book that they are actually reconciling?
Yeah, because he's getting more attention, right? Like I saw, like there were two videos.
His wife, Busola.
What happened?
What happened
No,
there?
it's wanted to promote a song, so Busola started her Okuns that thing.
No, I don't know.
Well, whatever you believe, I have direct information from the source. So from the source, so
Why would she put herself through that just for his song? Like that doesn't make any.
but I mean, of course, they use the wrong method. The same way some parents decide to to raise their children the wrong way, thinking is the right way.
So I actually interviewed Timi Dakolo, what's it called? When he was pushing that song. And I don't know who your source is, but source is very wrong. Because that song had already cooked and was on, let me finish, and was on media rounds. The reason why she came out was because the guy had just had another girl raped. I don't know if you remember that story. He raped somebody else, or allegedly raped somebody else, who came out first.
But now that one, because she's not a known
Big
person, nobody even
believed her. And then they rubbed her under the carpet. The same Chooks guy was one that did that interview first. And then Bukola felt the need, which I would do as well. She felt the need to back this girl up because now you're creating a pool of victims, and that's fucked up on so many levels. So she decided to come out and as support to that person. Bukola and Timmy have actually always been vocal about that. This is not the first time that she had said that. I mean, Bukola had already mentioned why he left the church. Yeah. And mentioned it in many, many interviews. So I think it's cruelly unfair to say that he was using her story for music. That's not true in any way. But anyway, back to our conversation. Do you think, though, because away from all of this manipulation, toxic stuff, do you think it is unwise to forgive a partner who cheats?
I mean, for me, it would depend on whether we are dating or we're married, right?
See, before you even answer that, I don't think we'll be able to do that topic justice in this episode. I want us to actually discuss it on its own because it's so much to unpack and there's so many dimensions that we can actually go into it. So for us, let's just talk about Derrick Jaxn and be able to unpack that, and then we can go and talk about whether it's wise or unwise to actually forgive a cheating partner, because we can actually, that's a whole episode on its own.
Yeah, but it's linked to her because that's what she's done right now. She has told the world that she has forgiven him.
So let's why don't we personalize it? In this case, really, in this case, really, what do we have any information as to why she shouldn't forgive him? Unfortunately, we don't.
If my girlfriend or if my wife cheats, and she apologizes and I see that she was just carried away or something. There's nothing hard. It's not hard to forgive. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's unless, of course, as you mentioned earlier, when religion comes into it. The thing is, the more you just grow, the more your body is depreciating. It's negative energy. If you have read the book called Law of Attraction, negative energy has an effect on the way you appear. It's the same way they use that proverb of if you are looking at 2 cans of rice, the one that you are looking at with strong face is the one that will decay faster. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying, no matter what, of course, what did the Bible say? Is it 777 times? Yes. So you can imagine, until that one don't happen, I will say, I think it's time for you to pack your load.
But what if she says, I'm sorry, Okuns, it was a mistake, and then next week she does it again, and then next week she does it again?
No, I'll just give her silent treatment. If she wants to move on, she moves on. But I don't have.
She wants to stay with you. But she'll continue to
No, but I'll give her silent treatment, so she will get the message.
For the rest of the relationship?
Well, until eventually, when she's ready to have, until I see a difference. But silent, because I mean, you go out into the world. The person you're living with is not your all. Do you understand? People go to work. If you're not working, you are relating with friends. If you're not relating with friends, you're with your partner. Okay, so practically that's it. Now, I don't necessarily. There are people. I have an uncle. He's already over 60 years old. He has 2 kids, but I mean, he's still living on his own. Do you get what I'm saying? I mean, a man can decide to do that. I'm sure for women too, they can also decide to do that. If the person is begging and saying, "Oh, you want to come, you want to come," no need for all that. Like I said, silent treatment. That's the thing. The person will get the message. If they like it, they will go, and you won't beg them. If they don't like it, they will change for the better. That's what I believe. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot to unpack with this whole Derrick Jaxn thing.
Yeah, but what do you think? Like, if we were going to round it off, what would you say? Do you think the apology was sincere? Can we agree that it was sincere or not?
I mean, we already agreed it definitely wasn't a sincere apology. I'm now focusing on like her being the victim and why she has forgiven him. You said it took 9 months.
That's what they said.
So I mean, it's possible she may have thought through it and has genuinely decided to forgive him and has prayed about it, and this is like her, spiritual inclination. My own issue is that he didn't seem remorseful. He didn't seem like he was sorry. Maybe in private he was to her. I don't know that, but from what we've seen as an audience, he didn't look
Yes, because
remorseful.
all the follow-up videos of her are very sad. I'm the helmets and the righteousness and then he's on his like, yeah, this really cool guy. He said this, but oh yeah, man, oh yeah. So he seems to be having a good time with all of this, and she's not, which should be the opposite because he's the one who did something wrong. So again, it's the remorse
I
behavior.
don't know how you guys view it, but I mean, it's not like he was beating her up or he was doing something else for her. You understand? It's cheating, so it's an issue we respect. You can decide to say, okay, you want to go, fine. You can decide to say you want to stay. There are some girls. Let's look at the person that married Hugh Hefner, for example. Has that one not always been cheating? But
Yeah, but Hugh Hefner's brand is different. This guy's brand was the complete opposite of that, and then he has now gone to that is where the issue
Queens,
is.
you deserve one man to treat you like a queen and all of that and all of that.
the female crowd are his market.
And let's not trivialize the fact that you don't have to physically abuse someone to really abuse them. I think you can do a lot of damage by just emotional abuse and all of that. But which is the reason why I wanted to ask about. But if I already said we'll talk about it in another episode, because it still goes back to like what level of acceptance of bullshit should you take in a relationship. Last, we should still be able to forgive, but I think there should be limits, in my opinion. But I think we'll discuss more about this in another episode.
Okay, I mean, so just to summarize, yes, forgiveness is a good thing, but you have to be you have to be sorry. You have to be really sorry. Yeah. You have to be remorseful. And because you have a loving, understanding partner, doesn't mean you take advantage of that. You have to really care for them.
Religion is not the final say. Like, you still live in a society where you should be held accountable. Like, if I kill people and then I find Jesus after death, I should still go to prison because you still have to bear consequences for your actions. So I think religious people need to become really cautious because a lot of creeps are catching on to how vulnerable they can be and are exploiting that as a tool.
All right, guys, join us in the next episode. Thanks for, spending all this time with us. Take care.